this mythology. Paul's a connoisseur. Sarah has an interest, but it's all Greek to her. From Cronus's kids' weird childhood to what's going down in Hades' hood. These fables are bizarre but good. It's myth understood.
Bring me understood.
Whoa, that was like sort of a country take at the end. That started like on a fancy harp, and then it became a guitar.
You got a little Slovakian though. I don't know why.
Understood. Yeah. Apologies to anyone listening from Slovakia. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Myth Understood with me, Paul Bianchi, and her, Sarah Oliver.
Hey.
And right off the bat, too, just if you want to follow us on the social medias, we are at I was thrown off by a very hearty thumbs up by Sarah. We are at _Myth Understood across Twitter and Instagram. And individually, I'm at the Paul Bianchi on Instagram, and Sarah is at the Sarah Oliver on both of those as well. And she's giving me 2 thumbs up now. I did a good job. Today, we're joined by a favorite guest of Myth Understood.
He's a fan favorite.
It is so. It's my dad, Bob Bianchi.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
It is. No, it's my other.
My dad.
It's Sarah's dad,
Hey,
Ken Brown.
Hey, Daddy.
Hey, babies. How y'all doing today?
Oh, wonderful!
I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you
This is
back.
ridiculously amazing.
You're such a cutie.
Are you kidding me? Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
Yay!
I'm really
The
happy.
studio audience is going crazy.
I'm so happy to have you back because one, I love you.
Oh,
And
thank you, Paul.
2, when we had you on before, we talked about Aesop, and you had said, "Hey, during Black History Month, I'm going to be telling people all the time around every corner, popping up through trapdoors and saying, "Hey guys, Aesop was black."
Yes.
Have you been doing that?
Yes, I have.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes, I have on this amazing day of Black History. Black History Month.
The day of Black History.
Day of Black History.
This
is the day.
Oh, yeah, this
of
is
all
the one day.
They keep shortening it, don't they?
They do.
First they give you the shortest month, and then they're just
And
like,
then they get this
It
1
ends on
minute.
the 18th. They took off 10 days.
Rapid fire Black History minute. Go.
Right. Listen, I was telling everybody, I was like, you guys, did you know? They're like, no, I didn't know. I'm really just been excited. I've told my family.
oh, great.
And that random lady in the line at the grocery store.
Yes. Hey, she learned a thing or two.
She did.
Now you of course you co-host a podcast called My Fave.
Yes.
How's that going?
It is going great. Thank you so much. My Fave podcast, where we talk about everything movies and television, with my co-host Marcellus Kidd. It is going great, you guys. Our new season is coming up March 11th.
March 11th.
We have new episodes. So please check us out.
Are you
Hell yeah.
So we've been talking to people who have said, "Hey, I really would like it if you would jump into Norse mythology." And what's funny is that it's been overwhelmingly Norse.
Okay.
And then we did a live video and people were like, "Egyptian." And I was like, I like Egyptian too. I actually happen to know more about Egyptian than I know about Norse.
Really?
So because to me, Egyptian was a natural progression of learning Greek mythology, and then hearing like sometimes Isis finds her way into
Greek mythology.
Into Greek mythology, and Isis, of course, the goddess, not not Isol or that thing. Does that still exist? I'm keeping up with the news.
Yes, it does.
I thought it keeps changing its name. I can't keep up with what they call themselves now.
I know.
So then it was like, all right, well, let's go backwards in time and learn about these people who some of them have lion heads. That's great.
Yeah.
But have you found that because your episodes are like my favorite sci-fi, my favorite rom-com, my favorite are you running out of genres, or are you going to revisit genres in new and spectacular ways?
Can I tell you, we are not running out of genres. Before we started the podcast, we came up with 52 episodes.
Ooh.
Topics, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
So we've broken it down, and some of them are like my favorite westerns, my favorite military movies. So what we did is we went
G.I.
to
Jane.
Right, yeah, exactly. We went to American Film Institute, and we looked at all of the categories that they consider categories of movies and television.
You went there, or
we
you Googled it?
We Googled it.
Okay, great.
We Googled it.
We knocked on their door.
We knocked on the door. I asked to talk to the executive director.
Yeah.
And that's where we started our episode ideas from. So
Okay, cool.
we're only 20 in. And so we have another 30, 40 to go.
Wow.
So we're really excited. And then there's like different variations on it. So Marcellus does TV and I do movies. So one episode we'll flip it and I'll do like my favorite TV show stuff and he'll do his favorite movie stuff. So it's pretty cool. We got a lot of mileage to go, you guys.
What have you learned that something is from Marcellus that you're like, wow, I'm really surprised that you like that?
You know what? I learned how much, and I guess it wasn't a surprise because we're like friends anyway, but this dude loves the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows every episode. He can quote lines. Like I thought I loved the Golden Girls.
Yeah.
He knows the Golden Girls. And can I tell y'all this?
Please.
So Richard Branson, Virgin Atlantic, Virgin whatever, he's starting a cruise line, and he's doing a Golden Girls cruise.
Oh, you need to be on that.
I have got to go on it. It leaves out of Key West and goes to Mazatlan. It's like
So
it's
how
gonna
does
be
it? How is
amazing.
it themed Golden Girls?
So if you're familiar with the Golden Girls,
Yep.
there's a Blanche's favorite hangout, the Rusty Anchor.
Great.
So they're doing a Rusty Anchor karaoke thing.
Awesome.
They're doing a St. Olaf dance party. They're doing a Golden Girls dress up lookalike contest.
That's what I need to hear.
Yep. Yep.
I know-
You know it.
I know you got some
know
wigs.
it. I got some
Who
wigs.
you dressing-
I'm ready.
Are you Rosie or are you?
I think we had a thing about
Betty?
this to figure out who it was. He said that I can be Dorothy. He says I can be really shady and come with the quick quips. I don't know, but I don't know if that's so much me.
But the Rosie's the little one, right?
No, I'm sorry, Sophia. He said I was Sophia.
Sophia.
That's
yes.
what we said. Sorry, that was my
She's
bad.
the shade.
Yeah. He
Yeah.
said I was Sophia.
You gotta be her.
Yeah,
She's
I want to be
hilarious.
Sophia. I'll be Sophia. So I'm excited, y'all. We don't know. We're gonna try to make this happen, but this is 2020. But anyway, to answer your question, that's what I learned about him.
That's
He's a walking encyclopedia of Golden Girls knowledge.
that's a lot to plan for. Like I have friends that are getting married set for 2020, and yeah.
Maybe they'll go on that for their like honeymoon.
I think that they should.
I know they will.
The Golden Girls cruise. But it's a really big deal because this cruise ship, by the way, is like an adults only type of thing. And so he's trying to market to this particular group of people. So if you don't want kids on the cruise ship, that's kind of like your thing. I don't know. We'll see. I
Yeah.
don't know. We'll see. But anyway,
That sounds like
that's
fun.
what I learned about him.
That's our
So I
our
just promoted his cruise ship.
yeah our
line.
today's episode is sponsored by the Golden Girls Cruise.
Right.
Today's
right.
episode, we are sponsoring
Right.
the Golden Girls.
Right. Everyone's getting a Golden Girls mug.
If you buy it yourself.
Right.
Etsy.
Well, thank you guys for being friends.
Oh.
Okay,
Oh, travel down the road and back again.
there we go.
I was ready.
We have more Aesop fables today, and I am
yes.
excited to go through these similar that we did before, where I'll tell you the story,
Okay.
and then I want you guys to guess the moral.
Fuck
Okay.
me.
It's so
We did kind of good last time. though,
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
We did kind of good. Some of them threw us off, Paul.
yeah. Well, these are all wacky. Today's
Oh, Jesus.
today's fables focus a lot about animals.
Okay.
All right.
I'm here.
Let's do it. Let's
they
do
also focus a lot on murder.
Okay.
Ken's here.
I'm here. I'm ready.
And I also, there are so many Aesop fables, and I endeavor to plug in ones that feature some of our favorite characters from Greek mythology. So
Okay.
let's just give me a holler when you hear a Greek god that you enjoy.
Can I have a buzzer?
Yes, you can have a buzzer.
Can I have a bell?
One of these fables has a bell.
Ooh.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the first one. This one is
Okay.
called "The Crow and the Gods."
Huh.
All right.
Okay.
There once was a crow named something. Give me a name. It's a dude crow.
Jebediah.
Jebediah.
Jeb.
Jebediah
Jeb for short.
was just hanging out one day, hopping around on his little bird feet, thinking bird thoughts. And suddenly he was caught in a hunter's snare while he was doing this.
Mm.
And he was there lamenting his fate. And he said, I hope one of the gods saves me. Apollo. Apollo, I pray to thee for help. Oh, great Apollo, I swear that if you release me from this trap, I will devote myself to your service. I will bring you offerings of frankincense to your shrines every single day. And just like that, Apollo appears, and he's all,
Hey, little crow. I want more than that.
oh, I could kiss you sweetly on the
That's
lips.
my stuff. Come on, I'm gonna cut you out of this net.
All right, great. Yeah. And Apollo says, yeah, I like I like frankincense anyway. It really musks up my pad. And Apollo frees him, and the crow is very thankful, flies around, continues thinking bird thoughts, and just all of those promises that he made completely slips his mind, and he forgets to give tidings to Apollo.
You're gonna regret that.
It's like a couple months later, and he's up to his old usual shenanigans, and he gets stuck in a second hunter snare. And in this moment, he's like, "Oh man, I really hope one of the Greek gods saves me." And then he thinks, "Oh shit, I never did any of that stuff for Apollo. Well, I can't call upon Apollo." So he says, "Oh great Hermes, I swear that if you release me from this trap, I will devote myself to your service. I'll bring you offerings of frankincense to your shrines every day." And Hermes appears, and Hermes is all
right, that's fine, but also bring me a bag.
That is not what Hermes says. Hermes says,
bag.
Hermes says, first of all, thanks for calling me great, because no one calls me great. Secondly, do you not think that we don't talk on Mount Olympus?
We goss.
I know you lied to Apollo, so you're SOL, buddy. Bye.
Oh,
Does Apollo have nothing better to do? He's just like, fucking crow. Fucking crow down there. I didn't get deodorant because I was going to rub a bunch of frankincense up my armpits. I don't got any. I smell bad.
And Hermes was like, "I told you, don't be messing with them crows. Now pass me that juice." Because they was at brunch.
They always brunching.
They always brunch.
So what's the moral here?
Oh, stop it. That's the end.
That's the end.
Oh, wow.
So what happens to the crow? He's just in a trap. And
He's in a trap and dies.
Oh, gosh.
if a promise made is a debt unpaid.
A promise made is a debt unpaid. It rhymes, so it sounds good.
It sounds good.
Ken?
Don't crow on your promises.
Okay.
I just felt like it needed to have crow in it.
Yeah,
that's
Because
good.
that whole, something I like, don't crow or crow's feet. Oh, no, that has to do with aging. Sorry. Never mind.
The moral, as written on where I found it, was lie once and you may not be believed later.
Oh.
Promise made is a debt unpaid.
Sure.
I like Sarah's.
Yeah.
It's almost like cry wolf. Don't cry wolf. Right?
Don't cry crow.
Don't cry crow.
Don't cry crow.
Ooh, that's a tattoo.
That's a good tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, Sarah was showing me really bad Buffy fan tattoos.
Yeah, I Googled it like 2 a.m. last night.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, everyone out there, do yourself a favor, Google Buffy tattoos.
But not good Buffy ones.
None of them are good.
All bad Buffy the Vampire tattoos.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's an episode called Passion where Angel gives this very long speech and someone tattooed that thing in its entirety down their back, just
all the way down to their ass.
in like someone like made the Buffy font, and so it's like in that font, of course,
no.
too. It's great.
What's the moral of that?
Don't get entire passages of
Of a script from a TV show.
Yeah, maybe enjoy the wall art that
Yeah.
it could be instead of the body art.
Oh God.
Watch that be one of our listeners. All right. The next one's called The Ox and the Frogs.
Oh.
Oh, yes, a natural pairing.
Yes. Once there was a little frog named Sarah?
Joanne.
Joran.
Duran.
Joran was playing by a pond with his friends, which, let's face it, were his brothers and sisters. And in the middle of their
Blobby and Bobby.
Lobby and Blobby. In the middle of their playing, an ox came out of the brush to drink from the pond and just stepped on
Letitia.
The
No.
what? The ox is named Letitia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I thought one of the frogs there was Letitia, and he stepped on one of the frogs.
Yeah, he stepped on one of the frogs.
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
She did.
yeah. So
Okay.
Letitia the ox stepped on top of Lobby or Blobby?
Blobby.
Blobby.
Oh God.
And it was the littlest, the youngest, the cutest frog.
Oh.
Guts and brains spray everywhere.
Oh, that can't be written.
No.
Horrors abound. None was safe from the gory display.
Oh no. They can't even have an open casket.
And they did as the other frog youths would do, and they ran away screaming.
Yeah.
That makes absolute sense.
Yeah.
It's traumatic.
Oh, yeah, Ox didn't mean to. She's just big and dumb.
They go home and just a look of shame and fear is
They
on
roll out a blueprint. Here's how we're gonna get this ox back.
is on their faces, and Mama Frog is serving up food, and it's like, okay, well, I see Joranne and I see
Flobby.
Lobby.
Lobby, yeah.
Where's Blobby?
Right.
And Joranne is like, this great big monster stepped on my little brother with one of his huge feet. They didn't know that Letitia was a lovely woman.
See.
On her break, just trying to get some water from the pond.
Yeah.
She worked real hard.
And Mama Frog goes, like, just dismissing the fact that one of her children is dead. Big was he? Ooh, was he as big as this? And puffs up her jowls the way that frogs can do.
Okay.
And,
Why are you mocking me? My little brother's dead.
and they were like, oh, it was much bigger than that. And so she's like, oh yeah? And she puffs up even more.
Mom, your grief is affecting you in strange ways.
And she's like holding her. She couldn't have been much bigger than this. And the little frogs are like, no, it was much, much bigger.
Oh my God, the mom's going to explode.
And she puffs up, and boom, yeah, she
This is
spontaneously
gory.
Where is
combusts.
Papa?
Why?
Where's Papa Frog?
And the two little frogs
What was she
again are
trying to prove?
sprayed with the gore of their loved one.
Oh,
Just, like,
my God.
left in this terrible grief
Now
again.
Children's Services is about to knock
It's a fucking Quentin Tarantino fable.
So what's the moral of this one?
No, that's not the end.
Paul. That's it? That's where
it.
we gonna end the driveway?
Aren't you glad he's far away enough that
Right,
we can't reach
right.
him?
You guys,
I would
we cannot-
strangle him.
We're in no proximity towards Paul.
What?
Okay, so Letitia stepped on the little brother, squished them. The
On
kids
accident.
jumped away in traumatic fashion.
Mhm.
Mom is on this quest to just prove how big
Yeah.
What?
the murderer is.
Her motives are strange.
They're very strange.
She's in the phase of denial.
Yeah, grief hit her in a very real way.
Yeah.
Don't try to be badder than don't try to outwit the murderer. Not as stupid. I don't know. Because that can't make sense like that.
I think the moral is maybe use your words to describe instead of action.
Do not attempt the impossible.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's weird. It's
Do
short.
not attempt the impossible.
Yeah. Don't try to be as big as an ox by inflating yourself with air.
Could you imagine the little Greek students in school when this was being taught?
Yeah.
Do not attempt the impossible.
Literally, the only thing you can do is like, okay, I won't do that.
They grab their school books and go to lunch. That's very fascinating.
It's very weird.
Yeah, I hate it. Next.
The bat and the weasels.
Fuck. No. You know, I love unlikely animal friendships, but these are foreboding.
This does sound like the name of a band. I'm going to hear the
My
Bat and the
punk
Weasel
band,
tonight.
yeah.
It's going to be fucking awesome.
So a bat got drunk and
Okay.
blundered into the nest of a weasel. What's this bat's name?
Dunphy.
Dumpy.
Dunphy.
Okay.
Dunphy.
Dunphy.
And
Dunphy.
as soon as the weasel saw Dumpy, it ran up to try to eat him. And the bat begged for
I
his
don't
life.
think the food chain works like that.
And the weasel was like,
Like, man, I've been drinking. I'm sorry. I would pay for the damage that caused when I crashed your weasel nest.
and the weasel's like, fuck you. You're a mouse. I know a mouse when I see one.
What the fuck?
I am a sworn enemy of mice.
Huh?
Every mouse I catch, I am gonna eat.
I'm bigger and I have wings. You're drunk too. What you been drinking? You got some?
I've been having this raki from Crete.
I have it.
The bat says, but I'm not a mouse. Look at my wings.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Can mice fly? I'm a bird. Please let me go. And the weasel had to admit that the bat was not a mouse.
Fuck a bird. Gee, birds?
So he let him go. A few days later, the bat got drunk again.
No.
And went blindly into the nest of another weasel.
Uh-oh.
What is this?
This
are the
weasel
odds?
happened to be a bitter enemy of birds. And as soon as he had the bat under his claws, he was ready to eat him. And he says,
I'm a fucking bird. I'm a teddy bear.
the weasel says, "You're a bird and I'm going to eat you." And the bat says, "What? Birds have feathers. I'm nothing but a mouse. Down with all cats. That's my motto."
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's actually in the version I found written. It said
Shut
that.
up.
Down with the cats.
Yeah.
Down with a cat, man. I don't like him.
And so the weasel couldn't argue with that.
That's logic.
Right.
And the bat escaped with his life a second time.
Okay, man, I gotta go to rehab. I gotta change some things.
What's the moral?
Don't drink and drive.
Don't drink and drive.
Yes.
Absolutely true. What, Ken? What is?
I was gonna say, don't drink and fly.
Or play for your strengths.
The moral, as it was written, was set your sails to the wind, which I believe means let the situation
Dictate
determine the
what
response.
you're gonna do.
Yeah.
Okay, so lie, lie, lie,
Lie.
Right. In order to get out of a situation that could kill you.
and keep being irresponsible.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I like this one.
Yeah. This is my
I
favorite.
like Paul. What is that again? Don't set what to the wind.
Set your sails to the wind.
That's another good tattoo.
Just fucking go with it. Just be a little sociopath and lie
Mhm.
your way out of shit.
Set yourselves to the wind is my new neck tattoo.
But I like your old ones.
I know. I'm just gonna keep getting them. I'm just gonna and we'll take a picture.
I think that was Ken's body I sent you a picture of with all the writing on it.
Yeah.
Right.
That,
Right.
That went on. Yeah. Speaking of that thing went on top of a very faded tramp stamp as well. Yeah, it overlapped it. But yeah.
I gotta see the pictures.
So the next one, since you like that one so much, has both mice and weasels in it.
Okay. That's a more likely pairing.
Apparently mortal enemies from what we've learned.
Mm-hmm.
So-
Interesting.
The weasels and mice were always up in arms against each other.
Okay.
Oh, the Great War.
The Great War of 1812.
In every steeped battle, the weasels carried off the victory, as well as a large number of mice, which they ate for dinner the next day.
Oh.
In despair, the mice called a council together, and it was decided that the mouse army had always been beaten because it had no leaders.
Wait, this is actually about war?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, we were on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a large number of generals and commanders were appointed from
Mhm.
among the most eminent mice.
Mm.
Yes.
To distinguish themselves from the soldiers in their ranks,
They grew their hair really long.
the new leaders proudly bound on their heads lofty crests and ornaments of feathers or straw.
Okay.
After preparation
Fancy.
Mm-hmm.
of the mouse army in all the arts of war, they sent a challenge to the weasels. They're like, "Hey, you're bigger than us and kill us, but we challenge you to war." That's how war works.
Someone type this out and send it to Disney. I don't need this movie made.
The weasels accepted the challenge with
Mhm.
eagerness because they were always ready to
Mhm.
fight when they had food.
Right.
Yeah.
So they immediately attacked the mouse army in large numbers. Soon, the mouse line gave way before the attack, and the whole army fled for cover. The privates easily slipped into the holes that they usually run away from the weasels
Mhm,
for.
mhm.
But the mouse leaders could not squeeze through the narrow openings because of their headdresses that they had made.
Ooh.
So all of those leaders got eaten by weasels.
Ooh.
What is the moral?
Ooh.
Your fanciness will bring you down.
Right. Your puffed up ego will not allow you to fit through the hole of humility.
Yeah,
Ooh.
the whole of humility. That's another tattoo.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's gonna be my
And I'll
tramp
tell
stamp.
you where. Lower.
That's my tramp stamp. The whole of humility.
That's my asshole tattoo.
Yes.
It's going to go right around.
Right around it. Oh, that's great. Well, the moral is greatness has its penalties. So you guys were on the money with that.
We were on it with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
Damn.
going to tell you one now. Last time we, of course, did Tortoise and the Hare.
Uh-huh.
This is one that is also, at least I had heard this one before.
Okay.
Are you guys familiar with belling the cat?
No, actually, I'm not.
No? Well, this is the one that has the bell in it.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
The
Hmm.
mice. So this continues with the mice.
Mhm.
They took great losses, but they soldiered on.
Yeah, they moved to a different place. This place had no ferrets, but this place had a cat.
Okay.
They
Mice
called
are resilient.
they called a meeting to decide on a plan to free themselves from their enemy, the cat.
Okay.
They wished to find some way of knowing when she was coming so that they might have time to run away. So indeed, something had to be done, for they lived in constant fear of her claws, and they hardly dared to stir from their dens night and day.
Oh, sad life.
Yeah. Many plans were discussed. Let's hear some. What are some plans that are not what this is going to be?
Let's see.
What if we
Mhm.
what if we fucking killed the cat?
That would be great, but we can't get that close to the cat.
I have a gun.
I was thinking we just put paint on the bottom of the paws of the cat, and we would know where the cat mostly went throughout the house.
And then I shoot it with a gun.
I'm not really comfortable with weapons.
I mean, to be fair, I can't handle it myself. I need at least 7 of us on board, working in perfect unison.
It's so easy for Lorelai the mouse to buy a gun from Walmart, which is what she did.
For anyone, yeah.
It's so true.
Many so yeah,
a gun, please.
I like your paint idea.
that is a pretty good
That's
idea.
very Tom and Jerry.
It
Yeah.
was very Tom and Jerry.
A very young mouse named
Orville.
Orville
Mhm.
steps forward and said, "I have a plan that seems very simple, but I know will be successful." He's a young entrepreneur.
Okay.
If there were a bell about the cat's neck, we could hear when that monster is coming. And all the mice were, wow, yeah, well, none of us has thought of that
Wow,
before.
that
Like, I mean,
Orville.
You're a fucking
Right.
genius.
I love your, I love the gun idea, but that's extreme.
I'll use it.
But in the midst of rejoicing over their good fortune, an old mouse arose and said, I will say that the plan of Orville is very good, but let me ask one question. Who's going to put that bell around that cat's neck?
Mm-hmm.
And no one raised their hands. What's the moral?
Oh, that's where it stops.
Yeah.
You need to follow through. Don't just dream.
Mm-hmm. Don't come up with a plan you can't execute.
Mm-hmm.
It is one thing to say that something should be done, but it is quite different matter to do it.
All right.
That's true.
Preach. That's a message.
Mhm.
I like that.
So I tried to.
She should.
Lorelai!
No! You missed!
She just shoots a hole through the old mouse who raised the point. Like,
Right.
who's going to put the.
We gotta move again. This time to Whittier.
So we're going to follow.
Whittier.
I don't know why they moved to Whittier, but they set up shop in Whittier. And they opened up a bell shop.
A bell shop.
Oh, gosh.
So I actually think with that one that I had heard before that maybe that is the reason that like it's such an old fable
Mm-hmm.
that I wonder what came first, this fable or people putting bells around their cat's neck, because I think it became something that cats were raised to take care of pets, but then as soon as they became sweet household murderers,
Right.
that people decide to put like, oh, I want to put bells around their neck so that they don't bring me dead animals all the time.
Oh, is that the reason people do that?
Interesting.
I think so.
When we were growing up, we put a bell around our kitten because my mom said the cat's so small, we need to know where he is in the house.
Oh, that
Yeah.
makes sense
So
too.
we could always find him.
Yeah.
That's how we were, like, that was what my parents told us.
Yeah. Although, I mean, because you can't hear it when they're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
98% of the time.
Yeah.
Right. But that's really interesting.
So this next one, this one has a cat as well.
Okay.
This one's called The Cat and Her Nature. One day on Mount Olympus, some of the gods were hanging out. This is another brunch time party.
That's right.
Yeah, and Sarah and I discovered this too in our episode about Bacchus and Philemon, how Hermes and Zeus like to sit around and drink.
Okay.
Yeah.
as well, and then have buddy cop movies.
Absolutely.
So Zeus and Hermes are hanging out, and Hera and Aphrodite are hanging out as well.
Oh,
It's like
holla.
I
Yeah.
don't enjoy this time with you.
I like these two.
and it's like Zeus and Hermes are drinking in the kitchen,
Mhm.
and Hera just on the back of that episode where Hera was trying to get on Aphrodite's good side and was baking muffins. I think it's like, they're hanging out
Mhm.
drinking wine.
But it's one
by
of
the
those like
kitchen
really
counter.
stale conversations where you don't know what to say to each other. Where you're like,
It's
gotta
really
make
awkward.
nice. Or, I stepped on her.
You still sleeping around with everyone?
How's that going?
Just like your dad.
So Zeus and Hermes start talking about mortals and anything that's not a god, really. Like, do you think it's Hermes? Would you say it's possible for a creature to change its nature?
I'd say that might be possible.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. Are you saying you want to stop having sex with everyone?
So
I'll go get more dip.
so Hera and Aphrodite are in the camp. They overhear this conversation,
Mhm.
and they're like, no. If things that are foolish stay foolish, things that are
Horny, stay horny.
yeah.
Mhm.
And Hermes and Zeus are like, no. There's of course things can change their nature, and so Zeus is like, you know what? I'll prove it. And he gets up from his seat and he walks around and he's like looks out into Hera's garden that's just swarming with animals and like way too many cats.
Mhm.
And Zeus is like, here, and he just like points at one of the cats,
Mhm.
and it becomes a beautiful naked woman.
Oh.
Wow, really proved your point there, babe.
And he's like, look, now Mittens is fucking hot now. She's a hot lady.
I can't have anything.
Mittens, come here, and he brings Mittens over, and he's like, do a turn. Great. Here, Aphrodite puts some clothes on her. Here, and just takes off Aphrodite's clothes and puts it on Mittens. And he's like, I'm gonna go find her a mortal man to marry, and no one will ever know the difference. And so
You have such a high opinion of women.
and so
Right.
Zeus goes down to Earth and sets up Mittens with some guy.
Mhm.
What's his name?
Oh, Marco.
Marco. And
Yes.
Mittens and Marco go on a date together, and everything's normal. I mean, he just talks the whole time, and she just like drinks milk. And
Out of a
then
bowl.
Right.
and then they go and they have a wedding, and
Oh,
the wedding
that was
is it's inch of grease. And the wedding is performed, and the young couple sits down to their wedding feast. And Zeus is like to Aphrodite, see how becomingly she behaves. Who could tell that only yesterday she was a cat?
Yesterday.
Oh yeah, fast wedding.
This is real quick.
I mean, when the king of the gods comes down, and is like, this is your cat lady. Here's a date. All right, chop chop. You're getting married tomorrow. And it's like,
Right.
all right, I'm doing that.
Probably was a big deal.
She's taking a shit in the sand over there.
And he's like, surely her nature has changed. And Aphrodite is like, wait a minute.
Oh my god, she's getting a laser pointer out.
And she pulls out of
This
her
woman will
purse
come out the tree.
a mouse
Uh-oh.
and lets it loose right in front of the wedding party.
Uh-oh.
And no sooner did the bride see this that she jumped up from her seat, pounced on the mouse, and bit off its head.
Oh.
Just in front of everyone.
Wow.
And Aphrodite says, you see, nature wins out, and then frolics off. And everyone's like, that was crazy. That was the craziest wedding I've ever been to.
Right.
Is he?
Right.
Are they married at this point or no?
They're married now.
Whatever. Like she takes care of the house and the rodent problems all at once.
Listen, she's a carnivore.
Yeah.
So
Live her
what's the
life.
moral of the story?
Pussy a pussy.
Pussy a pussy.
Once a pussy, always a pussy.
That's fair. I mean, it's the morals, nature exceeds nurture.
No, that's
Uh-huh.
not scientifically
No,
sound,
it's
but-
not. But there's a bunch of Aesop fables that are about this. I mean, I think last time I told the
Mhm.
story about the scorpion and the frog, about the
Mhm.
scorpion riding on the frog's back. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then stinging.
yeah.
Yeah.
And what's interesting with that one is that I've heard actually, I think I talked about this the last time about how I heard people posting that, and then the frog gets to the other side, and then the scorpion's like, the frog says, "Oh, I thought you were gonna sting me," and the scorpion's like, "Yeah, at one point in my life I would have, but I've learned and read and grown as a person, and I don't do that anymore." And then scurries away. And it's supposed to be about like how people can change, and if you allow people to change, then the world's a better place.
Well, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's like just because I have a stinger doesn't mean I have to use it.
Yeah.
Mhm. They'll have stingers.
Aw.
They'll have stingers coming out of our asses.
That's true.
She bit the head off that mic though. She's like, ah! Could you imagine everybody jumped up in disgust? Oh my God, is that Cindy?
It's just a cute party trick.
Her dress was so beautiful before the blood got
Her husband's eyes just get big, like, yeah, it's gonna be a good night tonight.
right. Marco was like, yeah,
Yeah.
buddy. And Fred's like, man, Marco. Damn.
So let's hear about the stag now,
Oh.
who was probably also invited to the wedding. But,
Right.
But of course, went stag.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Why am I here if you take these jokes right out my mouth?
So one day there was a stag. Let's name him too.
Clinton.
Clinton.
Ooh, I like that. Clinton the stag.
So Clinton was drinking from a crystal spring one day, and while he was
Nice.
drinking, he saw his own reflection in the clear water, and he was like, "By God, I'm handsome."
Some Clinton would
I
say.
like it, yeah.
He greatly admired the graceful arc of his antlers, and perusing down the rest of his form, he was like, "Yeah, I got some nice eyes too, and my neck's pretty thick and swole." And then it went down to his body, and then he was like, "Been skipping those leg days though, bruh." He like looks at his spindly legs, and he's like, "They're so stupid looking. Like I like my head, I like my antlers. The rest of me, dumb." And he says, "How can it be that I should be cursed with such legs when I have such a magnificent crown?" And just at that moment, he smells a pack of hunting dogs. And he's like, "Oh shit." And he starts bounding away into the forest. But as he ran, his wide-spreading antlers got caught in the branches of the trees.
Uh-oh.
And soon the pack overtook him. And he says, "Mistaken fool that I was," as he gets taken down to the ground. "Had it not been for these wretched horns, my legs would have saved my life." And he dies. So what's the moral of this one?
Functionality over fashion.
right. Utilitarianism versus vanity.
Yeah, we often make much of the ornamental and despise the useful.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I despise the whole package for myself, though.
Sarah!
Just keep.
No. I reject that premise. It's a beautiful package.
Someone tell me the moral of my story.
This story may continue because there's another story called the Sick Stag. So either a stag has fallen sick, or maybe it's the same stag, but it's bleeding out on the ground. And as he's there being incredibly tired and nearly dying, he has just enough strength to gather some food and find a quiet clearing in the woods. And where he is laying down, he's like, "Okay, yeah, if I have this food and I just rest for a while, I think I'll be all right. I think I'll survive this." And all of his animal friends in the forest start showing up, like the skunk and the rabbit, and they hear about.
Put me in your will.
They all hear about his illness, and they come to ask for about him, and like, "Oh, are you doing okay? Here, I'm just gonna visit with you for a little bit," all completely unannounced. And the stag is like, yeah, I'm just recovering by myself. Peace and quiet would be very good. And as they're there, they're like, "Oh, you don't mind if I help myself
Fuck
out
your
to
wife.
you don't mind if I fuck your wife? You don't mind if I help myself to your
Tesla.
your booed your what your like your currants and berries and all the food that you gathered here, because I'm hungry too, and and I'm visiting here with you, so I'm just gonna eat this, and,
Right.
and animals just come one after another until suddenly all that food that the stag gathered is no more. And then everyone leaves and is like, bye, hope you get better soon. And they all leave him with this like party that he never asked for and a whole mess to clean up. And the stag notices that all his food is gone and no longer has any strength to gather food, and then dies.
Oh.
Why did you do this to me?
So what's the moral of this story?
Paul hates me.
Have healthy boundaries. Learn to tell people no.
That was good.
The moral is goodwill is worth nothing unless it's accompanied by good acts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I do like both of your all together.
We are one.
right. I was very upset for the stag.
Yeah, the stag.
That's really sad.
It is really sad.
The leeches come when you're down.
Mm-hmm.
They come.
That's what happened to my grandfather.
Oh.
He was attacked by a pack of.
Well, after my grandmother passed, let me tell y'all the tea. Get close. Next thing you know, my grandmother's friend ends up at the wedding, and a year later, they're getting married.
Wait, she ends up at the wedding.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, what I'm saying is at the funeral, that's my grandmother's friend.
Oh my
and then
God.
a year later, she marries my grandfather.
Whoa.
Mm-hmm.
She's
she
waiting.
was getting them berries.
Yes, she was.
Mm-hmm. They both gone now.
What?
That could be a fable in of itself.
Poisonous berries.
Yeah, it was a real headline in our family.
Wow.
That.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys ready? We got 3 more.
Oh.
Ooh, yes, let's do
No
it.
more sad ones.
All
I
right.
hope you
Sarah
had
doesn't
some
like
sort of plan when you spaced these out.
I did have plans.
Okay, good.
All right.
Now I'm pissed.
This is fun, though. It's really hilarious.
All right.
Pissed off. He knows I am.
The grasshopper and the owl.
It better be
Oh.
fucking friends. This better be a video you'd find on the Dido.
So owls are known to sleep during the day and hunt at night.
Your favorite?
And there was my favorite. What do you mean?
You love owls.
Oh, I thought you meant just like the act of sleeping during the day and hunting at night. Was
No,
my
that's
favorite.
my favorite.
Sarah's out again.
The cougar's out.
Now there was a certain old owl. Let's name her.
Marlene.
Okay. No, I
What
like
did
that.
you say?
I said Odessa.
Oh, Odessa's better.
Oh, Odessa the owl, because it's alliterative. That's good.
Mhm.
Marlene's her middle name.
Odessa Marlene P.
Patinsky.
Owlson.
Yes.
Odessa had become very grumpy as she got older, and especially if anything disturbed her during her daily slumbers.
Well, everything will. It's the day.
One warm summer afternoon, she was dozing away in her den in her old oak tree, and a grasshopper nearby began a joyous but very raspy song. Let's hear it.
If music's too loud, you're too old.
Wait.
La da dee da da da.
Na na dee da 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 na dee da da na na dee da
I'm
da.
Odessa.
Wait, the grasshopper was singing that he was Odessa?
Oh, no, wait. Wait a minute. No.
I'm Odessa.
Right.
Odessa popped her old owl's head out of the opening in the tree, and it was like, excuse me, no, I'm Odessa. Are you mocking me with your song? Get away from me, sir. Sir, have you no manners? You should at least respect my age and leave me to sleep in quiet. And the grasshopper answered very saucily that he had as much place in the sun, as much of his place in the sun as the owl had her place in the old oak tree.
Uh-oh.
Then
I
he
think you're the grasshopper.
and then he
Right.
struck
Or
up.
a sass.
Right.
Then he struck up louder and even louder and
Sing your song.
raspier tune.
Yeah.
No. Da 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 da. Odessa, my place in the sun.
Odessa knew quite well that it would be no good to argue with the grasshopper.
Especially she's being targeted. This is intentional
This is-
harassment.
This is profiling. Species profiling.
I'm Odessa.
she also knew that her eyes weren't as sharp enough in the day to permit her to punish the grasshopper in the way that he deserved, which is, to kill him.
This got real.
I've been that sleep deprived.
So she decided to lay aside all of her hard words, and she spoke very kindly to him. She said,
Oh.
well,
Listen, you cutie little sweetie pie.
if you must stay awake, I'm going to settle down right down to enjoy your beautiful singing. Now that I think of it, I have a wonderful wine up here that was given to me by my drinking buddy, patron goddess Athena.
No way. Is there really wine from Athena?
It's wine from
That's
Athena.
hilarious.
Yeah, because
My theory's proven.
owls are sacred to Athena. And
And so is drinking.
so she says, please come up and taste this delicious drink with me. It'll make you sing like Apollo himself.
Oh. Wow.
And the grasshopper, taken in by the owl's flattering words, he jumps up to the owl's den. But as soon as he's near enough, the old owl pounces on him and eats him up.
Uh-huh.
So what is the moral of the story?
Watch out for cranky old ladies.
Like those steps. Right. It's like, man, you step on somebody's line, that's the took it to the next level. But I love what he said, though. He said, I have a right to my time in the sun just like you. That's deep.
Sure, yeah, but if you're doing construction outside in the sun while I'm trying to sleep, I'm there with Odessa.
That's true.
Yeah, he could have moved on. It was his
He didn't
time
have
to
to-
be
yeah.
awake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's her time to be asleep.
He didn't have to do it right in front of the den.
Yeah,
Right in front of the oak
and
tree.
sing about her in particular.
True. To really just like tease Odessa.
So the moral is flattery is not proof of true admiration. Do not let flattery throw you off your guard against an enemy.
Oh.
Poor Aesop. So jaded. That people were calling great fables. Those are really, really easy to understand.
He was a slave. He probably had a lot of anger about his situation in life
Now,
that,
that's
that he wrote
true.
about.
That's true. He was dealing with a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
He was
So-
trying to work it out.
This one continues with Athena and her owl then.
Okay.
And her
So,
wine.
so Athena and her owl were drinking together on the patio one
Stop
day.
it.
And after a few drinks, Athena tried to get real deep.
This is not the actual setup.
She says she was hanging out with her owl.
Okay,
But
okay.
listen to what she says and prove me wrong that she was not drinking.
Okay.
She says, my most solemn and wise bird, having hitherto admire you for your profound taciturnity, your habitual silence, rather, I now have a mind, for variety, to have you display your parts in discourse. For silence is only admirable in one who can, when she pleases, triumph by her eloquence and charm with graceful conversation. See, she's trying to be deep while being drunk.
No,
Right,
yeah.
right,
This
right.
is me.
Athena then barfed into a trash can. I just wrote that into my notes. But
No.
the owl replied by solemn grimaces and made mute signs back to her. Anyone walking by right now is like, Athena talking to her owl again.
right.
She needs help.
Athena's like, come on, speak. Come on. You don't have to be quiet. You can talk to me. But Odessa only shook her head and remained silent. Whereupon Athena, provoked by this mimicry, commanded Odessa, speak right now, or I swear to God, I'll throw a spear at you.
Oh,
Jeez.
the mean drunk.
Yeah, she can be.
This changed real quick.
With that, the owl hopped over to Athena and whispered very softly in her ear this remark. Since the world has grown so depraved, she who is deemed most wise ought to be she who has the eyes to see and the wit to hold her tongue.
Uh-oh.
And that's what's the moral of the story.
Dang.
Don't talk to an owl.
Odessa clapped back. She was like, bitch, I'm...
Is it a clapback or is it a
no.
flatback from an owl?
No, I don't know.
Flat back. All right. Sorry, I was too lost in what the fuck is this moral. But is it wisdom? Is it truly wisdom if you only hold it within and you don't share it?
Is it wisdom to share your pearls of intellect with someone who is not of sober mind?
Well, the the idea of it was
Is this again don't drink and drive?
It is don't drink and drive again. No, it's because of the beginning of what the owl says is the world's so depraved, and so the idea of it's depravity versus eloquence. It's if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Okay.
It's wise to
okay.
not say anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
Was she upset then with her?
Well, yeah, she's about to throw a
She's like-
spear at her.
She's like, yeah, well, yes, true.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're goading me into being wise right now. Like it's
When
like
I don't,
no.
right? No, I'm not. I'm not gonna say anything. I have nothing good to say to you right now, so I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, you've been drinking too much.
She's done this before so many
Yeah,
times.
she definitely has.
Odessa was pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, I gotta hold her hair
She's
back
been on
while she
this
throw up on the side of this
carnival
club. Ugh. I'm so over this tonight, girl. Every Thursday we do this.
And she's old. She
Yeah.
hasn't been sleeping.
Yeah,
hasn't been.
and she just killed a grasshopper. That's another thing. She was irritable. She had been up all day with that goddamn grasshopper. Now she got to deal with Odessa. I mean, now she got to deal with Athena. Yes, she was very upset.
Yeah.
Tonight was not the
It's
night.
good to read these in sequence.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I tried to put them in some sort of
There was some
sequence.
context.
Yeah.
So as such, I put this one last because
Oh.
I knew Sarah might be upset from all the animal death.
Thank you.
Oh, that was sweet.
I'm pissed.
That was
This
very
one,
sweet.
this one's about Androcles. There once was a slave named Androcles
Mm-hmm.
who had escaped from his master and fled into the forest. As he was wandering about, he came upon a lion who was lying down moaning and in terrible pain.
Mm.
At first, he turned to flee, but finding the lion didn't pursue him, he turned back and went up to him. As he came near, the lion put out his paw, which was all swollen and bleeding.
Oh,
And
Mm.
Androcles found that a huge thorn had gotten into it, which was causing the pain.
oh, he's being a
Mhm.
little dramatic.
He pulled
Okay.
he pulled out the thorn and he bound up the paw of the lion,
That was
and
very
who would soon be able to rise and lick the hand of Androcles like a dog. When then the lion took Androcles to his cave, and every day would bring him meat, to which Androcles would cook up, and the both of them would eat together. You know.
Okay.
Oh.
Shortly afterwards, they were confronted by soldiers,
Oh no.
and both Androcles and the lion were captured.
Stop it.
Uh-oh.
When he was one of the guards came down to him in his prison and was like, "Hey, Androcles, we're gonna do this really fucked up thing to you. We're starving your lion friend in the next cell,
Stop.
and we're gonna throw him. We're gonna throw you to him in the pit. You're gonna have to be eaten by that little friend of yours."
Dang.
And
What did I do to you? How do you personally? Why are you upset with me?
the emperor and all of his court came to see the spectacle, and
wow.
Androcles was led out to this middle of the arena.
You guys need hobbies.
Soon, the lion was let loose from his den and rushed forward, bounding, starving, running towards the victim. But as soon as he came near Androcles, he recognized his friend and licked his hand like a friendly dog again.
Oh.
The emperor was surprised at this, summoned Androcles to him, and said, "Why won't the lion eat you?" And
My best friend.
And Androcles, told him his whole story. Upon this, the slave was pardoned and freed, and the lion was let loose to his native forest, and they lived together in harmony again.
Oh, that's a really
Just
sweet.
kidding, they all died. No,
Oh.
no, that is actually how that one goes.
Oh, I like that's my favorite
Wow.
story.
That is
Mhm.
very nice. That's a very positive note to end on.
It reminds me of that video that I watched of the guy who raised that lion. And
yeah,
then
and they
sent him-
run at him.
Yeah, and then the
Mhm.
lion
They
runs at
hug.
him and hugs him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the moral of this story then?
Lions are the best.
I'm so glad I'm a Leo.
Gratitude is the sign of noble souls.
Oh.
Well, I wouldn't have got there, but
Yeah. They did make
But
a
yeah.
leap, but I like that.
just be good to each other.
Gratitude is what is it again, Paul? Gratitude is what?
Gratitude is the sign of noble souls.
That's another tattoo, Sarah.
Yeah.
Don't I
And-
have to get this one?
And
You
Leo
do.
is the sign of noble Kens.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Mm.
That's gonna go right on my rib cage.
Leading into the tramp stamp.
Just listen, right. Just in
If
time.
anyone
for-
wants to send us some tattoo samples that we can, some drawings,
please let us know.
yeah, please
That
put
is
them all over
awesome.
Ken.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be ready for 2019 summer. We're gonna be ready, Sarah.
Oh,
All of our
We're gonna-
tattoos on display.
we have something to say, and we will show you in swimwear.
Exactly.
Soup, 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 soup,
Coming to HBO this spring
soup, soup,
from the makers of Game of
soup,
Thrones.
soup, soup.
You thought the war was over? You were wrong. Presenting the most gritty battle between rodents you'll ever see. House of Mouse. Listen, Weasel Leader, if you take my life, I will come back at you with the strength of 1,000 headpieces.
I dare you for the throne of Argaria, all the way to the woven nests of the weasels. We will annihilate you.
And you're decapitated. You're decapitated. You're decapitated. And all your kids are dead.
I am the mother of cats.
Decapitated.
Well, that was something.
I know we were going to do another segment of it. I said that you're decapitated. You're decapitated. Death, death, death. Blood, blood, blood. I love it.
Was that one of the mice rulers? You're decapitated. You're decapitated.
Or was that one of the weasels?
Who knows anymore?
I would watch that show, though.
You will have to.
Yeah, it'd be a little bit like what is it? Like Watership.
Who?
What are you talking about? That bunny movie?
Yeah,
I never saw it, but as soon as you said,
Watership Bunny?
yeah, there was this about a rabbit, Waterloo, what? I know what you're talking about.
yeah. Isn't it Watership Down?
About a bunny at war?
Yeah. Well, it's. I think that the story is that like humans are creating a housing development
Mm-hmm.
where all these bunnies are trying to live, but like to the bunnies, it's like the end of the world, and they're trying to
Right.
like fight against
Oh
it.
my God, this is another really sad one.
Yeah.
I never did see it.
I never
Paul.
heard about it
Yeah.
even.
But it looked like kind of cool. I was like, maybe.
Yeah, but
Someone
it
must have shielded
it
me.
looked
You didn't let me
animated
know.
very bizarrely,
Yeah,
and it made me not want to see it.
yeah, it was like a little kind of weird, but that's what this show would kind of be like a little bit.
No, it would be $10 million budget per episode.
With great frying.
It'd be like the Jungle Book where they say it's live action, except it's like how can it's not live action because all the animals are CG.
Yeah, but we did that
Yeah,
when in We're Alive.
that's
We
true.
made that.
Will there be bats in it? Flying bats?
Of course,
Oh.
there'll be flying bats in it.
They're suicide bombers.
Ooh, nice. And stags.
And stags, sad stags.
Sad
Sad stags, little legs.
Oh, and frogs with bombs
Oh.
strapped to their chest.
Oh,
that explode.
Whoa. So, what did you guys? It sounded like you guys learned quite a lot from today's episode. Then,
I like the one particularly about healthy boundaries, where you need to know how to tell people no. Just because I'm over here and I'm sick, you just can't come in here and eat my food.
Yeah.
So you need to be able to tell people absolutely to the not today.
that one reminded me of a joke that I heard in middle school about the husband who's on his deathbed,
Mm-hmm.
and one of his favorite things in his entire life with it was his wife's
Tits.
baked cookies, like on par with her tits. And he smells from his deathbed this like the smell, and he's like he knows the sweet aroma of her baking,
Mm-hmm.
and so he crawls out of bed, and he's so weak that he like crawls
Oh,
all the
it's
way down
creepy.
the stairs.
It was like a horror movie.
And as soon as he gets there, he sees that these cookies are on the drying rack or the cooling rack,
Mm-hmm.
and he like reaches up to grab one, and right when he's about to grab it, his wife slaps away his hand and says, "Honey, those are for the funeral."
Oh.
Who told you this story?
Someone who hated me, probably.
Good God.
Wow. That's hilarious.
I love we need to do an episode of Paul's Fables. The
Yes.
fables that scarred you for life as a
Yes.
child.
So many.
Paul's Fables. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's harsh.
I only liked the lion one, and I did like the cat, that lady who bit the head off, but still had a happy ending.
Oh yeah, the little debate between
The
Aphrodite
nurture and
Mhm.
nature.
yeah. I thought it was an interesting story because it is classically told between Zeus and Aphrodite,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that it feels like a Zeus and Hera argument. So I put her in there, Bacon in the background, because I think she's there.
I feel like I've seen that story somewhere too, in a movie or a film, or it's something very close to that, very nuanced version of that, where it was like, no, that true nature is going to come out no matter how you dress it up.
I think it's in every Looney Tune.
Yeah.
It's like Bugs is dressed up as a female and he's running around and then,
Wasn't that the
becomes a
point?
bunny
Wasn't that the
again.
plot of like She's All That also?
Yeah, she did eat the head of a mouse at the end.
Yeah.
To get with Freddie Prinze.
And Freddie Prinze was like, that's the stuff
That's
that
what I-
makes
yeah.
activates my boner.
And
Great.
I'm excited about it.
Well, Ken, thanks for joining us for another episode. If our listeners would like to follow you and My Fave Podcast, how can they find you on social medias?
Oh my God, it's so awesome for being here. I had a great time. If you guys want to listen to us, we are on My Fave. We're on all social media platforms, just My Fave, MYFAVE podcast. We're excited to have you guys and be new listeners and become friends.
Yeah. Well, how do they find you on? How do they find you personally if they want to follow your
He's in
exploits?
witness protection.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
we weren't going to talk about that.
Okay, then I rescind
My life
that.
is at stake. I am available on Instagram at Ken79 and would love for you guys to look me up and let's chat.
7'9", of course, is how
It's
tall
more
you are.
sexual.
Oh. More sexual.
It's than
More
69. But,
Right, it's a whole nother level. We'll talk about it.
It feels somehow like it's just like the lazy or like more selfish version of 69. Like you're just
You're just going to lay with your bag. I don't feel like it.
That's the only one I do.
Yeah, I don't feel like it tonight.
Yeah. 79's like me and my cat.
The cat's curled up.
She's curled up and my back
Your
is
back
turned
is
to
to
her.
7. Yeah, I get it.
Mhm.
I love it. I see the visual.
Well, if you want to follow us, of course, we did that up front. But again, we are _mythunderstood on all social media. We also, you can find us at mythunderstoodpodcast.com. We are part of the Dragon Wagon Radio Network. And you can follow Dragon Wagon at It's Dragon Wagon on all social media as well. Please continue to rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
If it's good.
I mean, and by good, it's like we've gotten some really, really clever negative reviews as well. So that's fun.
Have we though? No.
Clever, hurtful.
Hurtful.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Wow.
Please also share with friends, and you can use hashtags to engage as well. We endeavor to use the MythFit hashtag. I mean, we have a shirt, so we should definitely use that one more. And that was just me wallowing in guilt suddenly for not doing that. Feel free also to check out the shop. Online.
Shop. Get your stuff.
Yeah. There are
Shirts.
There are shirts,
Mugs. Stuff.
Get it for somebody's birthday.
Yeah.
For a wedding. For a baby shower.
Get it for a baby.
Bar
Get it-
mitzvah.
Get it for a friend's impromptu wedding to a cat lady.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Circumcision party. Whatever the case may be. Somebody needs a mug on a shirt.
And lastly,
A mug on a shirt.
Yes.
Lastly, since Dragon Wagon Radio is an independent podcast network, you can also show your support by just going to dragonwagonradio.com/support and listen to a video or watch a video of our podcast network's founders, Zen and Jake, having a discussion about what you can do to help this merry band.
I get by with a little help from my friends.
It sounded like you're saying bye in a song.
Huh?
Huh?
Yeah. If you buy our mugs and shirts. That's the Wonder Years theme, but I thought it was a Golden Girls theme, and I was wrong. Thank you for being a friend.
Boom, boom, boom. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true. You're a pal and a confidant.
Aesop.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye forever.
Bye-bye.
If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride, all while supporting your favorite indie podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. So shop now at dragonwagonshop.com and get your dragon swag on.
Dragon Wagon.